Second Cup is brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Care Center.
Hi everyone, good morning to you. It's 8 o'clock on the start of your Thursday morning. Welcome to Second Cup. Glad you're with us to start the day. Can we talk about the humidity? I feel like somebody hacked into the air conditioner here and turned it off because it is nasty.
Didn't they turn it off for the mornings? I know you run warm, but I thought they taped away.
They taped it, but I don't know. I mean, regardless, it's
I don't think it's on.
sticky in here.
It's definitely
right?
warm. Yeah.
And
But
it's sticky outside.
I'm not complaining because we've been waiting a long time for some warmer weather, but we have the lights on in here and it does get quite warm. And yeah, I thought there was some sort of AC controversy, so it's taped over.
We'll talk about outside. I mean, it's humid out there. It's gross. It's sticky. It's one of those days, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, and it's foggy too. Take a look at the camera here, exit 48. That's Batavia on the 90. And, well, it's hard to see much as we have a lot of fog in Genesee County right now. Batavia and Oakfield visibility close to 0. So heads up, if you're traveling from, say, Buffalo to Rochester, you're going to run into some areas where that fog is locally dense.
Okay, so here we are, 74 degrees. You were saying also that Saturday looks a lot better than what you were expecting initially.
Yeah, so earlier in the week, Saturday looked like it'd be a little bit rainy, especially in the morning, but now Saturday looks nicer. We'll have showers and thunder showers develop later this morning and into this afternoon, especially across the southern tier today. Tomorrow, some rain mainly south of Buffalo, and then some clouds in the morning on Saturday, clearing as the day moves along. And then Sunday, we could see some showers late in the day. But the bulk of your weekend will be dry. I mean, did you like the heat yesterday?
Yes,
Temperatures, you loved it. I was a big fan. We're in the mid-80s. We hit 84 degrees yesterday. So let us know if you liked it, or if you were like, I had to run somewhere, and I did hear some heat grumbling. And I'm like,
stop it. Where were you? Name names,
no,
drop
I
them.
don't want to say anything. But I was like, it's day one.
Saddle up.
And I had my visor on, and I just finished I biked and ran yesterday because that was what it called for in my little program. And I was like, oh, all sweaty, and let's do a quick errand. And I was like, oh, it's not even, it's the first warm day.
Yeah, get over it. Sorry. Jason, good morning to you. Happy 43rd birthday. Love this for you. Thanks for being with us to celebrate. We appreciate you. Oh, and Denise, yesterday was her great niece's 4th birthday. She has spina bifida. Hope she had a great day. What a great day. Howard, thank you very much. Right, cranking. Did you stop at Live Edge, Aaron? Howard wants to know.
No. Where was that?
I don't know.
Okay, I was like, uh-oh. No, tell us what that is, Howard. I don't. It sounds cool, but no.
Yeah, no idea. Sorry. Lori says the temps yesterday were just right. We've waited a long time for this Worth. Though Marguerite says yesterday was too hot for me. Headed to Charlotte Beach and ate at Waterside Restaurant. Where is that? Marguerite, help me help you here.
Yeah, where is that? That sounds nice, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll
These
take
beaches
it.
we don't know about.
I know.
Yeah. Maybe she doesn't want to tell us.
Right, a secret. Barbara says it was humid when I left Florida last week. I'll take this western New York weather all summer long. So I have a couple of neighbors who are snowbirds, and they are in Florida for the winter, obviously. And the last couple of weeks, I'm like, hey, how have you guys been doing? Because it's been so cold here.
Yeah.
They've had their heat blasting. Crazy.
I believe it. If you came from Florida up to here in the last month,
right?
It's been a real shock to the system.
Melly says yesterday was beautiful, and today my day is about to. Why? Why is it today? Talk about the rain. When is it going to rain later today?
It's off today. Well, it depends. If you're south of Buffalo, Melly, you got a better chance for rainfall. Showers will be in later this morning. We're talking about a 40% chance for rain in Buffalo, higher chance for rain across the southern tier later today. You'll find some storms popping up. Some could be moving slowly, which could lead to some flooding. Best chance for flooding would be near the state line.
Okay, so Linda says it was hard for me to breathe yesterday. A lot of that haze is coming from that smoke.
Yeah, that'll be washed out today. So we did get the air quality alert. I saw that later in the day for people like perhaps her who have some issues when it gets like that.
Mom is here. Did you win against my dad?
Or Aaron.
Right. Did he not want to turn the air on? I wouldn't be surprised, though. Linda wondering, will it rain in Brant today?
There's definitely a chance later this morning into this afternoon. So yeah, Brant has the chance, and since you're southern Erie County, you have a better chance for some heavier rain later today.
Live Edge, a wine and beer bar on Coomer Road.
Oh, yes, I did see you there. Yeah.
Iron Man shirt on.
Yes, we spoke. It was nice to see you, Howard. Sorry, I forgot the name of the place up in like the Newfane area. It was my cousin's 50th birthday, so I saw you there, and we celebrated with her.
Cool.
And yeah, I do like my Iron Man shirt because I got about 5 shirts that I rotate through, and that was that day.
Melly said she was out on the boat last night. It was amazing. Where'd you go, Melly? What body of water? What restaurant did you visit?
Did you hit NT? I mean, it's going to be
God.
hot. I know you're a big Remington fan.
Love Remington.
Yeah.
Remington and Prescott's are 2 of my favorite restaurants, but Prescott obviously in the city of Tonawanda, Remington on the north side. Remington, you could get oysters there. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not cheap, but I love oysters and a martini.
Oh, sign them up.
Right?
That's awesome. Well, I also saw at NT, they just got a grant for some improvements for some condos, perhaps, I think, along the water.
That's great.
So it's, I mean, being from there, love seeing it doing well. So it's always nice to go there. And I love those restaurants, too. And if one's super packed, you just walk to another one.
Seriously.
Oh, you're packed? All right. You know, if you're in the mood and you're flexible, you'll find something.
Dockside is super cool if you're just looking for something casual. Then, like, you go down, like, to Oliver Street.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really one of the coolest areas. There are so many restaurants that the cheesecake.
Oh,
Say
that's
cheesecake.
right. Yep.
Oh my God, to die for in there.
Figmore is right next to that,
Yeah.
and we love going there. So any place that you get a large amount of food and it fits in the price range and it's delicious, sign me up.
Melly says Lake Erie, no restaurants from Hamburg Beach to Foot of Ferry. Okay, that's not bad. It's true. There really aren't. There used to be a couple of good restaurants down that way, but. It wasn't Lucia's. It used to be Juicy Burger Bar. They closed, and then it was that gluten-free restaurant. What is it called, though? I can't think of it. It was right on Route 5 in Hamburg.
It's funny because by the time you're like, have you tried this restaurant? I'll be like, no, it's closed.
Peter says, yes, Webster Street has really
that whole corridor right there. Sweeney, Oliver, Webster. In that region, it's great. Oh, Figmore, see, giving it some props this morning.
You guys are making me hungry, Gail says.
I know,
glad
me
you're
too.
with us.
Because this is normally when I eat, and Taylor's not here, and they're like, we need you on second cup. And I'm like, okay.
You love it. Speaking of food, let's talk about this. This is kind of interesting. Moms out there, even dads too, feeding their kids, their babies. Moms, we know, typically the caregivers here in the family, and that's Lago 210. Thank you. That's what it was.
What was it called?
Lago 210. It was right on Route 5, right next to Hoax.
So that came and went pretty quickly?
Not quickly, but it closed recently.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyway, back to what I was saying here. A lot of women are breastfeeding from the day the baby is born, through several months of life. Now, others are simply just giving them baby's formula. It, really is your prerogative, right? But what's in the formula? That is the biggest question here that's coming out of the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s office. He wants to know what is being put in your baby's formula compared to other countries, and can we add, subtract, or include some other ingredients that perhaps we aren't already.
Well, we had a soundbite from somebody today, gentleman, I think it was a doctor, who said, hey, you know what, it's been like this for a long time, it's very safe, but there's nothing wrong with going in, kind of see what we can tweak. We're always tweaking things. Heck, on the news, we're changing things every day. So, it's nothing wrong. I mean, real quickly that popped up and I was like, oh, there's a lot of ingredients. I mean, my kids are way older now, but I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. I thought it was kind of interesting to hear that. I mean, breast milk is, natural, and there are all of those, hormones and antigens and whatever else that comes
Dr.
from the.
Ed?
Yes, you know me.
I'm very impressed.
Antibodies.
You're in those classes that I had to take too?
No. But, it comes from the mother, and that immunity really is developed through the mother's milk. But, is the same thing happening through formula? And could there be a way to make it happen if it isn't already, number one? And number two, what we heard from Dr. Steve Turkovich from Oshai Children's Hospital?
That water was bad?
Well, yes, but that a lot of people are watering down their formula to try and stretch it out to make ends meet. It's really becoming a problem, he says, and that is one thing that you probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, that was interesting too. And like when I'm working in the back, I only kind of hear parts of the stories, and I was like, that kind of caught my attention. Like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Howard says, when I was a kid, my mother told me she did not breastfeed, and I grew up on farm fresh whole milk or in a pinch canned milk. They really did not have formula back in those days, so milk was the option. I turned out okay, I guess. Though Marguerite says...
I met Howard. He turned out okay.
Okay, there you go. Marguerite weighing in here, kind of just putting it all out there, saying breast is best.
Well, that's what seems to be the yes is the answer to that. But the consensus, that's what I was looking for. It's not, everyone can't do it. So it doesn't always work. So if you have the formula as the next, step, you want it to be as close to breast milk as you can.
Jason says, my sister breastfed both of her children just a couple of years ago. I wonder, do women feel a lot of pressure to breastfeed, or is there not necessarily, I don't know, like, is there a community pressure? Is there some sort of like overhanging hand that says, moms, you should probably breastfeed instead of giving them formula?
Well, I think, like I said, the consensus is, but it's not convenient for a lot of people, especially with work. If work isn't flexible, a lot of men still don't understand, that needs to happen. So, it's tough if you're working and you don't have the ability to pump and step out and go do that. So it has to be tough. Let's see, I wanted to breastfeed badly, much better, but my son couldn't latch due to a high pellet.
Yeah, that's tough.
That happens, Melly, and that's common. And like, what did you? So she wanted to very badly, but then could not.
And so what does that make you feel like as a mom? Like, do you feel a certain way as a result? Like, I don't know, do you feel inadequate then as a mom? Like, what goes through your mind? Not that you should, obviously you shouldn't, but I wonder, like, what is the psyche of that?
Yeah, well, it's a tough time too, because you just had a baby.
Right.
Your hormones are all over the place. You could have been in labor anywhere from 2 to 24 hours.
Crazy.
And then they're like, here, let's try to latch this baby onto you. So there's a wide range of emotions.
Caitlin says, yes, we do feel the pressure. You're looked at weird when you don't or you can't. Is that really true? Like, is that, like, these societal norms, sometimes they're a little all over the place, a little wonky. And why should you be looked at or thought of as different if you can't or, frankly, don't want to? Anita says, no one can pressure a woman to breastfeed. It's a personal choice. My mom weighing in here saying she went back to work soon after I was born, 2 bottle-fed babies.
You guys are just fine.
There you go. Rosemary said, formula-fed all 5 of my kids. They're fine. Lynn says, I think sometimes at the hospital when you're meeting the lactation specialist, they kind of force their hand and make you feel bad. That's interesting.
That's interesting. Again, coming from 2 guys, it's tough.
I mean,
like we
I
haven't been there.
breastfeed.
And nor can I. And it's one of those things that we're just here to listen right now.
Yeah.
Melly cried for 2 days.
My wife could not produce enough at a time for our kids. We did the formula thing, alternating with just regular milk, Similac, I think it was. Okay.
Similac, that sounds familiar.
Oh, wow, this is interesting. Marguerite says, I heard a hospital recently wasn't giving women a choice. It isn't easy breastfeeding. I genuinely can't imagine having to feel that pressure. Moms nowadays go through so much. And I'm glad that we're talking finally about mental health, too, because, you consider postpartum, you're going through it, right?
Yeah.
I really
need Katie to chime in on
Well,
this.
I know, and I feel like she's in the, I don't know what she's doing these
I haven't
days,
asked.
and I certainly don't want to, give out any of her personal business.
Exactly.
But, it's got to be tough for a
But
new
it'd be
mom.
good, she's a new mom. We'd
Yeah.
have her perspective, and she's coming back. What? A couple weeks? Did I see the email?
June 23rd, I think, or June 24th.
I think it's the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah. So, or Yeah, 'cause that's a
It's
Monday.
that Monday, Marguerite says it should be a choice. You guys are too funny. Yeah, sorry, I can't. I mean, like, I can give you my thought here, but
We're
not
doing
my
the best we
personal
can. This
experience.
isn't like our topic.
I couldn't breastfeed because I take medications for epilepsy. I use formula, and my daughter is fine. There you go.
Yeah, because if you you shouldn't drink when you're breastfeeding. There's a lot of things you don't want to do, and so yeah, if you're taking some medications, and it's when you become a new parent, you get all this information, and you're like, I hope I'm doing something right.
Sure.
It really, there's so many books and so many things, and so you have from your parents and grandparents to people you don't know to viewers, telling you what to do, and you're just like, hey man, I'm doing the best I can.
Caitlin says we already feel a lot of pressure all of the process, but it's just an extra piece of pressure that isn't necessary. Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, right?
You absolutely have to, and it's tough because you do get a lot of the opinions, but you just got to say, cool, thanks.
There you go.
Got to do what's best for me in this little 7-pound thing that's attached to me.
I actually did see Logan last night, and yeah, he was super cute. I had to drop something off at Katie's, and he is getting so big. Mm-hmm. It's so crazy how this like little 5-pound nothing, like all of a sudden is like he's growing.
They grow so quickly.
It's
they get
so crazy.
big. I know. I have like stuff I bought her when he was born. I'm like, it's not even gonna fit him
No.
anymore. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to her coming in. We got to meet him once. Such a cutie. So much personality already. You can see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, he's so cute. Okay, I wanted to share this story because I thought it was so cool, and I thought maybe you would too. We talk about safety, and we talk about the worst case scenario sometimes, and we talk about preparing for the worst. But this one thing in particular I thought was so cool. It's a wound spray. So if something were to happen to you, like a mass casualty situation, God forbid, there's this spray that can literally close up the wound in seconds, giving you enough time to get to the emergency room. And I thought this was super cool. So our Baltimore affiliate, WMAR, brought us this story. Megan Knight. Really cool story. So a Baltimore company that developed this product called Seal.
Okay.
And it's a one-time use thing. You spray it on the wound, and it closes up the wound. Like, it kind of creates that, like, gelatin almost like blood to, it's like coagulation, right?
Yeah.
The blood coagulates.
This isn't really my jam.
Sorry, I thought it was super cool. Maybe not. I don't know.
It's all good for you. You know how I feel about needles and blood.
I know.
So I'm just going to look the other way.
Well, no, there's no real blood here, but it's interesting that something like this could be thought of. I thought was pretty cool.
I do too, but I hope I never have to use it.
Right. Yeah. But they're using it in Ukraine. They're using it
on the battlefield.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was so awesome. Like, how does this guy, this one inventor say, you know what, I'm going to come up with this $1 million idea. Me too, Kamar. How do you say I'm going to fill this void?
Yeah, no, that's very, I mean, what goes into that must be like an incredible amount of research.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like let me come up with a Bills mug, like that. I mean, when you're talking that kind of, technology, that's crazy. So I'm sure that took years to produce, and it, like you said, in a mass casualty event or on the battlefield, it's certainly a great idea.
I'm making Aaron turn green. Barbara says, I'm sorry.
Not wrong. See, I was supposed to eat now, but I'm glad I didn't. Yeah.
Caitlin says, does it affect the healing process, though? For instance, if you have a cut and you wait till it starts healing to get it looked at, the docs can't do anything because of the natural process that started. Okay, maybe you're right. Interesting. I just thought it was a cool product. It seemed to me like, wow, it's like super no-brainer kind of stuff. But
yeah, a lot of times when there's somebody invents something new and you're like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
But I like that. Well, birthday gift for you.
Thank you. All right, how about this one for you? In Orchard Park, they are having another one of these public meetings to try and figure out what you want to see built around the new stadium.
Okay.
And this is one of those things that draws a lot of criticism because a lot of people have mixed opinions.
Yes.
A lot of people want to see a couple of different things, bars, hotels, restaurants, but they also then have to rezone that entire area. So what do you want to see built up around the Bills Stadium? Is there one thing in particular that you would, use or think that might be able to, boost the economy in Orchard Park?
It's easy to sit in the chair and not be an Orchard Park resident, to be like, oh, I'd love it to have all this great stuff. But again, not in my backyard, is if you're living in Orchard Park, do you want like a destination for people like Foxborough with Gillette Stadium? It's like a mall around there, and there's hotels and condos and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, that would be great. But am I going to go there often? Is it going to totally impede the people who live there? Their life is going to, change quite a bit. So I could see how it would have mixed emotions with that.
Here's my thought. A lot of people did not want to move the stadium out of Orchard Park. So
yeah. So they are used to it.
Right.
Like 10 Sundays out of the year.
And so I wonder, does that then come along with unintended consequences, right? More people in the area, or all of this development. Is that a consequence? I don't know, or is that a benefit?
Right, both.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, again, we live if we don't live there, it's easy to say. But looks like from there they'd rezone that for hotels, restaurants, bars, and retail stores.
Right.
I mean, you kind of spend almost $2 billion on a stadium. Probably do want something around that to generate some more revenue for the area.
Sure.
Would be my guess. But again, if I lived right there in California, do I want all these people around? But I mean, it's progress and you can't stop it. And like you said, there's a lot of pushback to put the stadium in downtown Buffalo.
Right.
I was a downtown Buffalo stadium fan.
I thought that would be super cool. I mean, frankly, when you consider, obviously infrastructure wouldn't necessarily provide that right now, but who knows what the future would have held. Moving it out of Orchard Park and bringing it back to Buffalo would have been a huge boom for downtown Buffalo.
Yeah, but I think, the cost have escalated quite a bit out in Orchard
Absolutely.
Park. I couldn't imagine what the cost would be if you put it in downtown Buffalo. Plus, they had the land right there. You'd have to do some sort of eminent domain to get the stadium. And I think we'd be talking about opening day in 2035. And, hey, we don't want that.
Right.
Like, get the stadium. Let's keep the Bills here. You got Josh Allen in his prime, newly married. So, the stadium's going up, and it looks amazing. So I'm excited about that.
The OP board should go to other cities and see what they've done. Lynn says maybe more medical providers, offices, sit-down restaurants, maybe a small shopping area for local goods. That's cool.
I totally like what Mark said. I know they traveled to get the idea of the stadium, right? They went to
London,
Europe. Yeah, I was going to say London. And, to get the idea, so maybe they have an idea of what it's like around there. Like in Green Bay, their stadium is like in a neighborhood. So maybe, if you build condos and the stadium's right there and you move in, you know what to expect. So, and I think they could, put some more housing around there. Maybe, I'm sure, put some luxury places.
Sure.
I'm sure the Bills players would love to live in a nice luxury condo.
Caitlin says, heck no, not in downtown Buffalo. The potholes are god-awful down there, and traffic is already a nightmare down there. I can't imagine stadium traffic on top of all of it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the infrastructure just doesn't exist to make that a reality.
You would need to extend the transit to the south
speaking
towns.
of transit, I mean, like, wouldn't it be so helpful to get a rail line from downtown Buffalo to the stadium, or Cheektowaga at the airport to the stadium? Wouldn't that be so helpful?
Yeah, well, when they put that in, that's what it should have been.
Right.
It should have 100% been to the airport. Any airport you go to, you can take, most airports that are large, like ours, you can hop on a subway or something and get to where you want to go. So I do agree with that. But I think, again, that's another ship that's sailed. You're going to spend years digging up. We already put traffic back on Main Street.
And it took years to do that.
Yeah,
Millions and millions of dollars.
I think it would be $1 billion probably to get
yeah.
transit to the airport, to UB North, and to the south, into the stadium.
But it would be so nice.
I
Very
love
convenient.
going other places and you're riding and you don't have to worry about driving and you're sitting in there and you're like, this is so easy.
Right.
And
Yes.
maybe you got your Bills stuff on, it's great.
A couple of beers, you're like, okay. I don't
Yeah,
have to
that's
drive.
another thing too. You don't have to worry about anything like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Denise says, what about a building with rooms and they are drinking and shouldn't drive? Yeah, good point. Public transport, Caitlin says, like that should have been a thought. So who knows? Maybe there is a future plan to build something, but
Yeah.
maybe if there's a private developer who might want to do that, maybe who knows, they could do that.
Yeah, you never know. It's not you or I.
Nope. Okay, but here's Michael. He's kind of chiming in here. The naysayer, Erie County, Western New York, doesn't have enough population and high enough average household incomes anymore to support an entertainment district or malls like the McKinley Mall, the Boulevard, Eastern Hills Mall, now the Galleria. He says, keep dreaming. Okay. Okay, Caitlin wants to know what's going on with the BPS stuff. She's been out of touch. So
I have to go do weather stuff.
Okay, quickly, I will let you know.
You take that, and I will.
So today, there is a special Buffalo Board of Education meeting, but this one in particular is just to address the search for a new superintendent because Dr. Tanja Williams-Knight is retiring at the end of the year. So what will happen in the search for the new superintendent? All of that to say that the school board still has not picked a third-party investigator to do that independent investigation after those claims of abuse were made by Detective Richard High. So what is to come of this and when will it be done? Anyone's guess at this point. I actually just reached out a little while ago to a Buffalo Public School spokesperson to try and get some more information because I'm working on a couple of things behind the scenes and just wanted to make sure that I was able to get some updated information. So I'm working to hear and get some more information, and I will bring that to you. But in the meantime, still really no update. I just want to make a note that we're going to have to pause for Aaron here in just a second so that he can do the weather and traffic together. Caitlin says she's in the Dominican Republic right now, but would like to talk about some of my daughter's ongoing issues. Yeah, by all means, give me a call. You know where to reach me. 716-713-3514. Johnny, my boy, Marrero in the back. He's going to drop my phone number here on the comments for you as well. So when you get back from the DR, give me a call or send me a text, Caitlin. Let's pause for a second so that Aaron can do traffic and weather. I think he's coming up right now.
Okay, check. Cool.
Maybe he has a couple more seconds. I lied. I take it back. But anyway, there's my phone number. Here he is.
All right, good morning, everyone. We're looking right now at the 90 at Batavia, and we had some very dense fog about a half hour ago. The fog is starting to dissipate. We can actually see the cars on the thruway right now, so that's an encouraging sign. Look at our visibility tracker, and as we head into Genesee County, Batavia now visibility about a quarter of a mile, still less than a mile for Oakfield. So in central Genesee County, that's where we're finding most of the fog this morning. Check out the radar, some showers on the western end of Lake Ontario. Moving in front of a cold front that's slowly pushing toward us. Those showers will start to arrive later this morning with a better chance of rainfall this afternoon. We have a marginal risk for some severe weather south of Buffalo, and the main threat would be some heavy rain. Some gusty winds with some of these storms, but the main threat would be heavy rains, which could cause some flash flooding, especially along the New York-PA state line. Right now, our temperature is 64 degrees, a little hazy here in Buffalo. Winds out of the north at 9 miles per hour. Hour by hour forecast, we have the clouds thickening up, a few showers later this morning, showers and thunder showers this afternoon. Notice the heaviest rain across Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and Allegheny counties. On Friday, we'll have some more showers pop up, especially south and east of Buffalo. As we take a look at your hourly forecast for today, we're in the mid to upper 60s this morning with cloudy skies, then some showers and thunder showers will develop later today. Some of the rainfall will be heavy for today through tomorrow with more than an inch of rain in some spots. Your forecast for today, scattered showers and thunder showers, your high 74 degrees, a little warmer across the southern tier, a little cooler in the north towns. Tonight, scattered showers and patchy fog, lows in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, we're in the mid 70s with some showers across the southern tier, mostly sunny Saturday with sunshine. Sunday, low 70s with some showers very late in the day, so most of the weekend looks dry and pleasant. Some wet weather for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday looks fine with highs in the mid 70s.
Julie says Aaron is the hot guy this week. Yeah, he is. Caitlin, no problem. That's the whole reason why we're here. I have no problem giving out my phone number because, frankly, I want you to tell me what's happening where you are. And give me the opportunity to share your story, share your voice. And that's what Second Cup is all about. So I'm glad that we could connect here. And of course, when you get back, give me a call and, happy to chat with you. And that goes for everyone else too, not just Caitlin. Whenever you have an issue, by all means, give me a call. Listen, we've got to get the show on the road here. Thank you so much for being with us here on Second Cup for a Thursday. TGIF tomorrow. And we've got a lot to look forward to this weekend with some finally warmer weather here on the horizon. So with that, we say thank you again, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for Friday. Enjoy.